What's going on, Baltimore and beyond? I'm your man, Kenny Cash.
I'm Randy Harvey.
And welcome to another episode of Charm City Smoke.
You heard?
Today, we have a special guest.
A real special guest.
We got BC5 in the building.
Nah, the BC5.
Chief Mark Ruff. 30-year veteran in the department, Chief Ruff.
30 years of stories, of firefighting stories.
So we're not even going to come in through with a whole bunch of intro, a bunch of filth on, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be a great episode. Get your drink, get your smoke, pull up with us, and get ready for this real interview.
Yeah.
We got you. Well, Chief, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, really appreciate
Cheers
it.
to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know?
Thanks for having me. I'm honored.
Absolutely. Salute.
Yeah, another day, another episode.
Fifth episode. It's the fifth for a reason. We're going to get into it. And, but first, I want to shout out a couple of cigar shops, local cigar lounges in the Baltimore metro area. First, I'm smoking the Burnt Leaf cigars located in Randallstown. It's their factory smoke, pretty good smoke. My first time trying it, so far I'm impressed.
Yeah, and I'm smoking this. It says Nicaragua. Look, check this out. I went to Prime Jaw yesterday. Shouts out to Prime Jaw. I saw this, caught my eye, and they always got nice cigars in there that I've never seen before. And never let me down once. So shout out to Prime Jaw. Not sure exactly too much about the cigar. It just said Nicaragua on the front. That caught my eye. I'm like, oh, well, all right, let me get that. So, yeah, shouts out to Prime Jaw.
Yeah, they located Randallstown Road, Baltimore City, next to Engine Company 46, truck 27. So, Chief, why I know he's Charm City Smoke. You're not smoking, so
Right.
it's the
Yesterday I had a tooth pulled, so I'm going to skip the cigar for
Yeah,
now.
he's not smoking, but he is drinking.
right.
So we
That's going to help the tooth.
Yeah, we got
That's gonna
sour
help my gum
mashes.
heal.
We got the sour. What is it? Sour. What is it called again?
I'm just going with Chattanooga tea,
The
Chattanooga
sour mash.
recipe.
Lemon. What is? Look, Ferg made it right. So then we got this Willet Rye right here. I mean, once again, if you know, you know. This is a great bourbon right here. It was a rye. Yeah.
Also, want to give a shout out to Casey Morrell from Engine Company 45, the Iron Horse, for our logo, hand painted, oil painted. Did a wonderful job. Definitely see it for any painting needs. I saw work, excellent work, Casey. Thank you again.
Yeah, most definitely.
Definitely shout out to
I'm
you.
gonna hit you up. Right.
So, Chief, let's get into it.
We
All
here.
right, I'm ready.
We here.
We here. We've been wanting
What we say,
it.
look, this is it. Look, now y'all see, if we let anybody on, we bring anybody on.
Right.
You know.
Y'all said I was racist. Let's stop that.
All right, so,
All right,
Chief,
let's hear it.
let's get a little bit of background on you.
Where you
Okay.
from?
You know,
Where
where
am
you
I
from?
Actually, I grew up in Baltimore.
What part of Baltimore is
I
this?
grew up in South Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was South Baltimore for a long time, and then when they redid the Inner Harbor, it became Federal Hill.
Mm.
Wow. Okay.
What street?
But Riverside and Fort,
Oh, okay.
Fort
Riverside.
Avenue.
That's right by the park.
Right down the street from the park. Yeah, right across from old 12 engine.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys
no.
are too young.
No.
to
I got a
remember
question
that.
for you. Have you ever seen the movie Juice
And became Juice.
with Tupac?
Possibly.
Oh, in case Riverside, fool. What you
Oh,
talking?
okay.
I'm from Riverside. I'm sorry.
That sounds familiar.
I'm from Riverside.
I can't remember
I'm
movies
sorry.
that good,
Okay,
but
it's fine.
it sounds.
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
So, but yeah, it was 12 engine, then it became 26 engine.
Okay. Okay.
And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Did that kind of start your love, or wanting to like was that like something
Uh,
that kind of drew you to?
I don't know. I drove across the street from it all the time. Didn't think much about it. My brother John, he was battalion commander number 3
John
in the
J.
3rd
Ruff.
Battalion.
Yeah,
John
shouts
J.
out to
Ruff. Yeah, and he was my older brother, 17 years older than me. I think he was in the academy right around 25, 26 years old.
Okay.
He got married. He moved out, but always kind of looked up to him.
Okay.
Thought he was
Okay.
great.
That's good.
Thought I might have been a cop. I'm not sure. John talked me into taking the test for the fire department
What year was this?
that I got in, or
That
this.
you took the test?
I was on a list for like 5 years. I was the dumbest guy in the class.
How long after high school was this? Well,
It took a while.
What
I
was
graduated in '86.
And then-
I guess I took the test maybe. They had people come in maybe 80. I'm not sure, 87, 88, but
gotcha.
yeah, I think it was the 87 list because my class was 93.
Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah, I sat on that baby for 5 years. But it was well worth it.
So let me ask you this. So between you taking the test in 87 to 93, what were you doing in between that?
Well, what I did, I went to Catesville Community College. didn't really feel college that much. I mean, at the time, I wanted to make some money. So I got into construction. I had an uncle who got me a job with construction. I did that, did pretty good.
What company was that? Do you remember the name of it?
That was McLean Contractors.
Okay.
Okay, they're based out of Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
So it was basically a lot of bridge work. They do a lot of bridges. They did Seagirt Marine Terminal, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I did that, and then I got into a plumbing apprentice program with a union. It was Local 48 at the time, and they were affiliated with UMBC. It was right out there, right at UMBC.
Yo, I got a job for you. You still got that?
Well,
you know,
I
got a job for you.
I can probably tell you how to do it. I don't like to get down too much with my knees. But I can walk you through it. I walked a couple people. We just installed a floor like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a couple firefighters give me a hand, and I just told them what to do.
Sounds good. And
Like on the Fireground, right?
Yeah,
Like
right.
Fireground, right? It's natural, just a natural
So,
thing.
but
You're right.
yeah, so I was going to probably become a plumber.
Okay.
I was starting the third year of that. I was doing a plumbing job at the time, like up in Westminster, and my wife called and said the fire department delivered a letter to the house on a Friday saying I had to go to fire academy on Monday.
Oh, wow.
They didn't get no.
Wow.
So you had already
Yeah.
completed the whole thing. You just were waiting,
Just
to
waiting.
get the
Was
letter.
that a hard choice or was it easy?
At the time, I wasn't going to do it. She talked me into it.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I've been on it for a while. I didn't know how great it was.
I
I
understand.
didn't know it's the greatest job in the world. Nobody
right.
does.
Nobody.
Great
I didn't know
job,
that either. I didn't know that either.
Until
Right.
you
Nobody
Yeah.
knew.
So,
Like, it's funny, like how you said, with growing up and you see fire stations, you see the engines coming by,
Pay
and
no
you
attention.
don't even pay
You
no
paid
attention.
no attention.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know about y'all, but like even when I see have people come into the station to go to the bathroom, I would have never thought I could
Right.
go into a firehouse to go
Right.
to the bathroom, get a
Right.
soda, or just sit and talk to the fire, firefighters as well.
Right. Most definitely.
So with that being said, how you didn't know. Let's say you made the decision not to go to the fire department. What do you think you would have?
I don't know. I'd like to think that I'd be a millionaire somewhere.
Right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hear you.
But
With a construction company of your own, huh?
possibly plumber.
Plumbing.
With bad knees, a bigger belly.
Yeah.
Right.
You and Chief Freddie Ruff would have made
Maybe.
business.
Yes.
Right.
Rough and rough.
Possibly, but I don't know if I would ever met him for the fire department. So.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Chief Fred Ruff as well. No
Yeah,
relation, right?
He's a drain
No
chief. We possibly could be related.
Okay.
I'll let you know if we're related. If it
Somewhere
benefits
down the
me, then
If it
it's
benefits
okay.
you.
Yeah.
He's a
Okay.
good basketball player, like I told you earlier. He can play
Yeah.
basketball, man. Down
Right.
6
He
times.
was a
just
center.
seven.
He was a center, right?
Yeah, his son, right? Yeah.
He can hoop.
All right.
Yeah, nah, Freddie's a good guy. I actually did work for him a couple years ago. He couldn't find any helpers. All these young guys in the fire department, everybody's sons, and nobody wanted to deal with the drains.
Right.
And he called me up and asked me if I knew anybody. He asked me if I'd give him a hand. So I did it for like 6 months, and then he found somebody, and then I did it again. So it was fun working with Fred.
Good.
So you came.
Developed a good friendship.
So you came in the academy. You said at 86, right?
93.
93.
Yeah,
Okay,
93.
93.
So, 1993, Fire Academy. Do you
graduated
remember
high
who
school in
your
86,
chief was at the time?
At the academy,
At the academy.
his name was Baginski. He was battalion chief. Back then they didn't have a deputy chief.
Oh, right.
I'm not sure if he died or if there was another chief that had a similar name. He was in the 1st Battalion. And I think he was also Baginski or Badinsky. I'm not sure. But I remember seeing the order and I couldn't remember which one died.
Okay.
But it was Chief Baginski at the time.
And-
He's the chief for everybody for a long time.
Oh, yeah?
He was a staple out there.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, he was out there for a long time.
Ooh, Chief against
So what was your first assignment after leaving the academy? What was your first?
I went to 33 engine.
33 engine. So at this time, we're with 30, because 33 engine, for those who don't know, who might be tuning in from a different jurisdiction, 33 engine's been a couple different places throughout the years. So 93, where were they located?
Gorsuch Avenue.
Gorsuch Avenue.
1749 Gorsuch.
That's, for those who don't know, that's ladder 49.
Right.
That's Gorsuch Avenue. That's the firehouse 33. So was it a truck in there with
Exactly.
them?
That was just an engine.
Okay.
Engine 33. I don't know if they ever if they ever had a truck. Talking to Goose, I think they did have the chief there at one time.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
that was just Medic 3 and Engine 33 when I got there.
Okay.
So.
So let me just piggybacking off of that. When you looked at ladder 49, did it bring up old memories for you?
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah?
It was pretty good.
Was the
watching
firehouse pretty much still set up
It was-
how it was?
It looked a little better on TV.
a little bit,
Yeah.
a little cleaned up, a little Hollywood for you.
Yeah, it looked a little better.
Yeah. So any like memories from 33.
Not your first fight, anything like that. Just like the people that you work with.
33. That was a great time in my career. In fact, I had a real good career everywhere I went. I had great people I worked with. I was on B shift. Had a really good crew. Goose was the main man.
And for those who don't know, who was Goose?
Gary Toscas, retired firefighter. I think everybody knows he's Goose.
Everybody knows Goose.
Yeah.
Anybody watching this knows he's Goose. So.
And it's Gary and Dean, right?
Dean was a PO. Yeah,
Right,
I think he retired.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Goose was definitely the man at 33. He held the shift together. He was first acting. He was a great teacher for me, being a rookie. Taught me a lot about firefighting.
That's good.
Yeah. And who was your officer?
The officer was Ben Eakin.
Okay.
He retired. Ben was pretty strict, but he was good. He kind of gave me my foundation for being an officer.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
He was. Yeah, I kind of wanted to be like him. He was pretty good.
So you made officer out of 33?
No, actually, I was at 33, and I was trying to get approved to PO, so I got approved to PO, and I took the PO's test, and I came out like 5 or 6 on it, and probably shocked a couple people. But when it came time to making PO, I didn't want to leave my guys. I didn't want to leave the shift. I didn't want to give up firefighting. I was too young.
Right.
And then you had the older guys say you never turn down promotion. You probably heard that before.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I got promoted, and I went to 42, which was 114. And at the time when I went up there, they became 42 again, and they got old 32 engine, which was a jet. So it was really fun to drive as a PO.
So, and what year was this when you made PO?
It's like 95, 96, somewhere around there.
Oh yeah, so you from like 3 years in. Yeah.
What was the salary back then?
Oh God, I can't remember when
I
I
heard
came.
it was like 17,000.
It was 18 when I came in.
It was 18 when you came in. Wow. Wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you made PO, went to 42 engine.
I was there for like a year. I went there. I started studying. Took the lieutenant's test. Didn't know how I did. I remember sitting at the watch desk, and Lieutenant at the end of the shows came in and said, "You're not going to be here long." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you're 10th." I said, "Really?" And he said, "Man, I kind of shocked myself. Back then, when they first came out with the list, it was in alphabetical. It was rank in alphabetical.
Okay.
So I think I ended up like 6th or 7th after that.
Wow. What made you want to study? Was it a moment where you saw something on the Fireground, or was it your officer?
I think he said it was his.
The officer was good as far as training me to be an officer. I think that's kind of where I got my baseline.
Okay. But was it something in you that said, I got to promote? Like, I can't do this PO thing no more. Like, enough is enough.
Believe it or not, when I was in the academy, I kind of felt, I looked around, saw the lieutenants. My goal was just to retire with a blue helmet. But I know I wanted to be a lieutenant. I knew that much. I wanted to be a lieutenant. And then after I became a lieutenant,
Right.
then you kind of have your eye on captain. Everybody has it.
You know what? When I made lieutenant, like, I felt content for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah, you do.
And then, like, you know, down at 36 engine, shout out to 36 engine D-ship. And then down, you know, once you start doing the job and captain might get sick or something will be off, you start ordering supplies because you're the senior lieutenant. And that was another thing too, was like, I looked up like that, you was a senior lieutenant. It's like, you don't even realize, you know, the time you don't go by like that. But you start realizing, like, you know, it's not as hard as it seems. It seems like the main thing is if you can manage people, then it's kind of a smooth transition. You know, that's why I always try to tell people, it's like, think about being an officer, a lot of times your personality, your drive, managing people. If you're a good firefighter, you're a good firefighter. That'll come natural. You know what I mean? So do you have the same outlook on that, or what's your outlook on the transition from lieutenant to captain?
Kind of the same. I made lieutenant. You know, watched the captain and stuff, and a couple other captains.
And where did you get promoted to lieutenant?
When I first made lieutenant, I went to 58.
Okay.
And back then, like I said, I was at 7th on the list. That year, it was like July of 1999. They promoted maybe 28 people in like one order.
Wow.
So Chief McDonald at the time, he was I think he was the acting chief of the fire department. He came out and said that anybody could transfer. Back then, you had to do a year.
Okay.
But because he had this big promotional list coming up, he said that he was going to let people transfer over less than a year.
Wow.
So I think I did. Like I said, I left. I went there in September of '98, and July of '99 I was at 14.
So yeah,
Wow.
so got you. But Cherry Hill in '98, '99. Oh man, it was rock. It was
was,
real. It was real.
How was
Cherry
it? How
Hill.
was it? Was it what call value? Was it
What
different?
was it like around
what's-
Cherry Hill?
Yeah, what was it in the Cherry Hill area?
I'm
Was
from
it a
West
culture
Side.
shop?
We was
Well, you
scared
was
of
from
Cherry
down, kind of from
Hill.
down that way a little bit.
I was.
Being
My
from-
wife was from Westport.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
okay.
right. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
you was
so-
used to it.
Yeah, I was used to that.
Right.
Like I said, when I got details to 26, you know, it was right across the street. It was
Yeah.
great. I could go like when I was at 33. When I got married, I moved to Hamilton, so 42 and 33.
Wow.
I kind of served in my own community.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's dope.
And
That's dope.
yeah,
That's
so-
dope. That's
That's
dope.
pretty good.
So real quick, am I
That was
lying?
great.
Was our West Side guys, were we scared to go to Cherry Hill?
So we always say the only thing that East Side and West Side have in common is we don't go down Cherry Hill.
Right,
That's the only thing we got in common.
But
You
some
know,
people
not
can
going
say
down-
Except for this man right here, he go everywhere. He good in any hood. He good on any MLK. Boulevard.
Riverside.
You know,
Well,
Riverside.
Yeah, Riverside. Yeah.
You throw your R up, you go around Riverside.
I'll have to watch the movie. I'll get it down.
Yeah. So you was familiar with Round Road and all
Everything.
that stuff,
Oh, yeah.
projects. There's nothing to you.
We always 58 made a lot of lefts.
Right.
They made a lot of lefts.
I think they still do to this day.
They do
Yeah.
make a couple rights. Sometimes
Right.
they get a fire every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But 58 wasn't bad. It was good to learn the job. They did like a little bit of everything. You had the light rail, you had everything. So back then
Yeah.
we wrote the fire cards.
Yeah. Right.
And it was, you know, I had the trash on the street, I had the dwelling fire, I had, you know, light rail. I had a lot of unique stuff.
Right.
And it was good for learning being officer. Now, the thing about 58 back then, when I went there, they were the top dogs in the battalion.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
So,
they
what battalion was this at the
Yeah,
time?
They were
This
they
time?
were in the 6th.
So it was still a 6.
So
at the
the,
time.
the chief told me that a lot of guys in that battalion didn't want to go to 58 on callback. So I made lieutenant. The captain was off sick. He was off sick like the whole time. I didn't see him, and then he retired. So I got acting captain like immediately. All my callbacks were like when the captain shift that.
Yeah.
It was great.
That's some good times right
Yeah,
there.
the chief would call me up at 3 o'clock and say nobody wanted to go there. They were afraid they would get a
Yeah.
fire. That's just what the chief
Wow.
told me.
All right, I understand.
58 was rocking and rolling back in
Well,
the day. In the late 90s.
Well, we know this.
They were just,
Yeah, we know this.
they considered them, you know, they were the
King,
busy.
what's they called? That's their thing, King of the Hill, right? 58
Yeah.
King
They
of
were
the
also subject to go west. You know, they could have
Yeah.
went 47 went over 14 a lot, but occasionally 55. You know,
Mhm.
58 to go to 55 or 14.
Okay.
I got a quick story
You
to
might
tell.
not sleep in at 58.
I got a quick
So.
story to tell. In middle school, we played
Mhm.
basketball, right?
Mhm.
I forgot what school was out Cherry Hill. We went there and played basketball, right?
Was
So-
it Southern or?
It was a middle school.
Oh, it was a middle
It
school.
was a middle school.
Okay.
I can't remember the middle school name, but it was in Cherry Hill. So we beat them, whatever, like that. I was on the team, so of course we won. After the game, we're in the parking lot, we're on the bus, and we see these guys walking towards the bus. And my coach like, yeah, duck it, they got guns. So we all duck, they just throwing rocks and stuff.
Everybody got people.
Hey, right. He got a gun.
Southern was
That was near.
that was my
26.
neighborhood.
That was your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lot of
Did you
people.
go to high school there? Like,
No, I went to Cardinal Gibbons.
oh, you want to call them
Ain't nothing
Gibbons?
wrong with that.
Okay, call them Gibbons. What's that? Frederick? No, not Frederick. Wilkins.
Skating
It's right over
King
by the
Wilkins.
hospital.
Yeah, King
By the
Wilkins.
hospital.
By
St.
St.
Agnes.
Agnes.
Yeah, right by St.
Okay.
Agnes.
Okay.
By Friends Deli.
So what
makes
I
you-
like Friends Deli.
Yeah, so what made you want to go to, say you left and went to 14 engine, did you want to go to 14
Oh,
engine
yeah.
or was it a choice? Did you have other companies
Yeah,
on your
Actually,
transfer?
no. When I went to 58 and they came out and said you could go, it was 14, 8, and 19 engine.
Mm-hmm.
And
You turned down 8 engine?
actually,
Say it ain't so.
actually, there's a lieutenant at 8 engine
Uh-huh.
who was leaving to make captain, and I called him, and he said if you won first in fire, go to 14.
Ooh.
Because I was going to go to 8.
Okay.
In fact, it was all wrapped up. Rodney Williams,
Okay.
he had it all lined up with Chief.
Rest in peace, Rodney
Yeah,
Williams.
Rodney, rest in peace. He had it all lined up with Chief Thomas. I was
Mhm.
going to go to A shift on the engine, I believe, and he was on the truck on A shift. I think he went from D to A. But it was all signed, sealed, and delivered, and I got 14. That was my first choice.
Okay. Well, so what shift did you end up?
14 was D shift.
D shift?
Mhm.
What was
Okay.
your crew? Who
So-
was your crew?
Before you get to
Okay.
that, just to say that you on there, so D shift 14 engine has pretty much had good officers for a while. Like
Yeah.
Daryl Williams,
Daryl Williams, yeah.
Lieutenant Daryl Williams, and
John Parker, I think.
John
at the time.
Parker.
Yeah.
Yep. Captain Parker now, right?
Yeah,
Captain Parker, 31 engine. So yeah, continue. Like,
So who was your crew on D shift?
The crew when I went there was PO Dennis Greenwell, best PO I ever had.
Okay.
Great.
That's on the
PO.
record.
Yeah.
Okay. You're here.
Best
Dennis
PO,
Greenwell.
Dennis Greenwell. The only
Yeah,
thing I
I
had
know
to do was get dressed. And half the time, I was asleep getting dressed.
Yeah.
And he would get me there. It was never a problem. 14's area was the first do area was like this. So we were always going to get it. I always got completely dressed. I don't know if they liked that, but I knew I was going in and I got dressed.
Right.
But we didn't lose any fires.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got dressed pretty fast. You got dressed pretty fast.
Yeah, you can't beat 14 engine in there.
Nah,
Right? Like me
boxing.
being at 36 for I was 36 for 5 years. Those don't know. And my PO was Woodhouse, who I consider, I'm
Great
going on
PO.
record, no disrespect to nobody, that's the best PO I ever had. Brian Woodhouse from 36 in the D show.
Woodhouse, just give me that part-time job I'm gonna ask you about. Let me get that
Yeah,
job.
we'll get back to you on that. But he would always say, box come out, we were second deuce before they changed the box assignments. And he there was always a valiant effort, try to beat it, man. I'm like, bro, we're not beating 14 engine. Man. It's like, it don't matter where you go, it's like, there's no way to beat
I
that
think
thing.
on every shift, 14 engine always had that history behind them, bro. They bout it.
Yeah,
They bout it.
They are
14
shout out
engine.
to 14 engine to the fall of salute the
Taking out best
Good
firefighters. Taking Michael O'Connor. They took him. He left him with the 14. We loved him at 20, man.
Yeah. So there's no other place I would
Shouts
let
out to
him
you,
go.
Mike. Yeah, shouts out to you.
Yeah.
They try to get lovey down there.
So who
too.
was when you got the 14 engine? Who was the captain of 14 engine at the time?
It was Captain Smell.
Shouts out
Chief
to Chief.
Chief
Assistant
Smell,
Chief Bell at the time.
Yeah.
So was it a good mix there? Like
It was pretty good.
okay.
Yeah.
And how long were you down there?
99 to 03 when I made captain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
after you made captain and you went to 29 engine.
I floated.
Okay.
I made captain. Went to a call. I floated around for like a month at a time,
Okay.
and finally I went to 29 engine. When they went to 29 engine, Chief Ryer at the time apologized for sending me there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is
at
there a
29,
reason?
they had a reputation. That's where they had a lot of trouble there. Like
Yeah.
when I went there, it was guys that either had got in a fight or they retired, went on their 90 or whatever, came back, they was on 29. A lot of people didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
So when I went there, I just did what I do, and
So would you say that you cleaned up 29 engine?
I don't know if I'm going to say I cleaned it up. I thought I might have made it a little better. I mean, Chief Feely, who was my chief at the time, when I was kind of finished at 29, he told me, he said, you took the last place team to the Super Bowl when you
Wow, that's a huge compliment.
That was coming from Chief
That's
Feely.
I got to give a round of applause on that one.
So,
That's
but
a
I don't
huge
want to knock
compliment.
29.
The Bengals went to the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
no,
The Bengals
no.
went to the Super Bowl.
That was his words.
So that's what it was. So 29 engine is the Cincinnati Bengals, and you're Joe Burrow.
Oh, I
And-
don't know about that.
29 engine, for those who don't know, is Park Heights and
Yeah.
like Cold Spring, pretty much.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. So that's pretty good though. I mean,
So how long you were there for? You said?
03 to 06, I made chief.
so what would you say was your best time in the fire department?
No, you know
No,
what?
no, not the fire department. As like
As
isn't
a-
that before he made chief.
Before chief, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
before
Before
chief.
chief, like as an officer, firefighter, PO, lieutenant captain, what would you say is like
Your favorite time?
this run defined me as a
It's
firefighter?
it's hard to pick. It really
Really?
is. Yeah, because 33 I had Goose. 19 engine where they were the top dogs, they had a lot of fires. But when they
Okay.
were on a fire, we would get a fire.
Okay.
Like back then, 33 was slow. I mean, they might have did 2,000 runs a year.
Oh, okay.
I might have 4 runs on a night work, or a day work, but 2 of them might have been fires.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Wow.
pretty good.
So
That's pretty
I
good.
got a good bit at 33. When I went to 14, those guys were like, oh, man, this is the most fire you ever had. And I started thinking about it. I had a pretty good amount of 33, but 14 was great. Had a lot of fires there. And the guys were good, had a good crew. It was a good company. Yeah, it was great. I wouldn't trade that time or 33 for anything. If I would have made captain and went to 14, I'd probably still be there.
You'll still be there.
If my knees and all my body could hold up. maybe I wouldn't be as fat. I don't know.
So what year was this when you made chief?
I made it in 06.
06. Wow.
So before we get to that, let me ask you this question.
But let's get back. I don't
Yeah.
want to knock. So I had 33, 14 is all before chief, and then 29. I had a great time at 29 also.
Yeah.
Because I got to be the captain. It was my company.
Right.
And I got to run it the way I want, and I ran into a lot of good people there.
Yeah.
That's good.
And,
What's some of the people that you work with when you was at 29?
Yeah, who we want to give a shout out to?
I had Dave Wareheim was probably
Shouts out
top
to you.
guy. Yeah,
Both
Dave.
of them. Both the Wareheims.
Greg Matasak.
Yeah,
That's
what's the funniest?
Are you the name? Are you gave him the name Smiley?
No, I think that was Joe Yingling.
Joe Yingling?
Yeah.
Okay.
That man
Joe
he has
Yingling.
the best imitations, man. He can imitate a
He
lot
can
of
do a
people,
lot. He
bro.
was me.
And I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
it's the best.
He'll probably do me doing this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm sure he will. But it was a lot of great people there. Floyd Weaver was a good guy. He was my first ad guy. Ed Morsley Berkeley was there.
Berkeley. Yeah.
It was a good
Shouts out to
crew.
Bert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only Bears fan I know.
The only bad.
So you said you made, in 06 you made chief.
Mhm.
Currently you're a chief.
Mhm.
You've been a chief longer than in your career than any other position.
That's correct.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That is
yeah.
a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I made it. I think I was about 38, and at the time, I don't know if Art Kate made it before me or not, but I was probably one of the younger chiefs. Now there's a lot of young chiefs making it. Chris
Yeah.
Hudson made it, young Rudisill.
he was
different
with you at
guys.
29 inches too, right? Chief
Chris?
Hudson? Yeah.
Yeah, getting back to 29, what made my life easy there was I had Chris Hudson as a lieutenant, Rick Parker, and Kyle Caldwell. I didn't have to do anything. Those guys,
Awesome.
I used to have to stop. Back then, we did the payroll on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And we could do it on Friday night as a courtesy if you wanted. And the guys would do it on Thursday. They were fighting to do it. There's guys who do it on Wednesday night. I'd say stop. You can't do it that early. But the guys, they all tried to do good. The thing I like about it, they all got along. They didn't snitch on each other. Like, they weren't trying to go to the captain and say this shift did that and that. Whatever they
Y'all
did.
head out there, lieutenants.
Whatever they did.
You lieutenants out there, y'all make the captain's life easier. Step up to the plate. All right, Chief. Go ahead.
Those three guys, they all got along. They managed it. Either they didn't tell me anything or they just ran shit real smooth.
That's
And
good. That's
it made it real easy. I wouldn't turn that. Like I said, those three guys as officers, that was great for any captain.
That's great.
Yeah, man.
That's
So
great.
you made chief. Well, did you act chief a lot when you was a captain? Did you
Well,
get that experience acting a lot?
Well, like I said, I went there in 03. I was on C shift originally. I was getting moved to B shift because we had Chuck Feely, Battalion Commander. He was on B
Will
shift.
Jasper's
Yeah.
Will
Godfather,
Jasper's,
so
Will
to speak.
Jasper's mentor.
Yeah, his mentor.
Well, I wasn't the senior captain in the battalion, but nobody wanted to work with him. They were afraid of him.
Wow.
So I became first acting.
So why?
Wow.
What Chief Fairley? Just to touch on that, why do you think that nobody? Is it because he just held everybody to a high standard? Like, what was your interaction with them to be like, hey, it's not that bad?
I think he liked me because I came from 14.
Yeah.
The other thing, I think he liked me because I did my job. I was a captain at 29. I kind of knew what he wanted,
Yeah.
and I gave it to him.
Right.
And
Right.
It's a beautiful thing.
it was good. Yeah. So
Do you remember your first fire in acting as a chief or being as a chief? Do you remember, or maybe like not one of the first, or maybe
man,
Like one that's memorable.
I
where it's
wish I
like,
could-
man, like this is kind of getting out
early
of
in
control.
your career, especially like early in your career?
I
when
wish
you
I could
probably thought-
remember. In fact, I was thinking like a couple months ago, I had a lot of fires acting chief
Right.
that I thought I did really good. Actually, better than I do now as a chief.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I thought I did pretty good on them. And I thought the fires went well. I can't remember the first one.
Did you ever have an old shit factor as chief? Like old shit, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Right. Do you
The
remember
fire's
that?
out. And
Right.
It's handled, so I kind of move on from it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But yeah, everybody has the oh shit thing.
Yeah, gotcha,
When
gotcha.
you have people trapped, just back in 2017, we had an assisted living fire with 7 people trapped.
Wow. Did you have AIDS back then? Did y'all have AIDS?
No, I didn't
No
have
AIDS.
one.
No AIDS. No.
So, speaking of, cause me listening to you, whenever I work on A shift or when I was on A shift, listen to your Fireground, it's like, it's textbook. Like, you paint a vivid picture as the fire's going on, listen to. I'm not sure if anybody's ever told you that or not.
A couple people have.
Yeah, it's like I know what everybody's doing.
I agree.
I can see it. I can visualize it. Me listening to it on the east side of town, I can know what's going on. A lot of people say you are the MOPs.
Oh, they say
You are the
yeah,
rules and
everybody
regs.
said it. You got it.
You are the
Yes.
ops memos, the DOs and GOs. Like, what is it about you that you can retain that type of information and be able, not just for studying purpose, because when you're studying, you remember everything. But like I said, you made chief in 06, so I'm assuming you really haven't studied since. Cardinal
Gibbons.
Right. So like, what is it? What would you say is about you that like I'm really able to retain this information and be able to remember memos and be able to recite them back and on the drop of a dime when something happens?
Well, yeah, I don't know about that. I guess I got better over time. Going back to the fire academy, my class, we all got along real good. I think we went out on Sundays. There was a place that had oysters real cheap, and we did that. But there was times when then maybe Friday nights we would go out. We'd all go out different places along Hartford Road. But a lot of times I would skip it because I'd stay home. When I read stuff, I had to read stuff like 2 or 3 times. I don't know what it was, maybe a little bit of some type of disorder, but I had to read stuff a lot to read.
I would say it's a disorder.
But that means
now people call me Rain Man for some
I know that's what I mean.
I think it's a dope compliment too, like because everybody say that about you, all the MOPs.
Yeah, because I know me. If somebody asks me, my first thing, especially when I don't know the fake out, I probably shouldn't be.
I'm gonna get back to you.
Information.
I'm gonna get back to you.
No, not get back to you. I say, what the MOP say?
Put it back with them.
And if you don't know, hey, it ain't my job to know. You got the question.
Bro, I don't want to say his name during EMTI. He was teaching the class. When you ask him a question, he'd be like, "You tell me."
Yeah. Right.
Shouts out to you.
That's the fake out though. You know what I mean?
You tell me.
I've had chiefs do that to me before. Maybe that's why I learned them. What's the MOP saying? Then I would tell them.
Right.
Yeah.
What I did realize, I'm coming up, and this probably starts from 33 with Goose and Lieutenant Deacon and all. If you know your area, nobody's going to mess with you. If you don't know your area, stone cold.
Yeah,
that's what they. I couldn't eat a meal. The chief would come down. We'd have a meal. We're sitting there, and out of nowhere they'd say, "Where's this?" You'd have to tell them how to get there. Right. That wasn't good enough for the lieutenant. He'd say, "Oh, we went over 27 engine. We had battalion training or something." Then the boss comes over on this side. How do you get there from here? Right. So they really made sure you knew your area.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But I guess as far as the MOPs and rules, it's required for our job, and I always just want to do the best job I could. So
that's great.
I tried to.
That's great.
That's a beautiful thing.
Get that.
It is a beautiful thing, man.
It's a beautiful thing.
So I'm gonna ask you, have a couple choices here, right? Just pick one. If you don't want to pick one, that's fine too. You want to keep it diplomatic, that's fine.
We're gonna steal something. You don't mind drinking, right? You don't mind drinking. Hold on, we're gonna steal something from another podcast.
Yeah, shout out to Drink Champs. We're gonna steal something.
We're gonna steal something. If you don't want to answer, go ahead and you take a hit of this. If you don't want to answer,
okay.
If you don't want to answer,
small hit. Hit me off while you right there. Hit me off while you right there. So, you as a company officer, not as a chief, just company officer, would you pick 14 engine in the late 90s or 29 engine in the early 2000s?
If you don't want to choose,
as far as my favorite time,
yes.
Well, I got the most fire at 14, so I'd probably pick 14.
Okay. All right, I'll respect that.
Well, I'm gonna take a shot.
It was a good round.
Shot to 14 inches, they still getting it done. It's crazy that like years later, it's 2022 and 14 inches still getting the same first and jobs. Like
for some reason, people in that neighborhood, they just love fires. They love fires. I mean, you've seen the same.
I've seen it.
I mean, they used to have little.
I've seen it.
They had little committees and neighborhood groups and all.
Yeah.
They were on every fire. They love fire down there.
And being at 36, it was like you had certain addresses, certain time of night.
Right.
Us, we come across the bridge down Emerson Avenue where the railroad is. See the cows, like, let's get it.
Love fires. I remember, either second trick, going down Payson. And going down Payson Street, and it's the first time I met. I saw Chief Doles a lot, I saw him around. He was at 58, and then he made PO. He went to 111. He'll be on later and tell you his story. But I ran into him in Payson Street.
Okay. 100 block. You know 100 block?
I'm not sure 100.
Okay.
400.
Okay.
The usual suspect addresses.
Right.
I remember it was around 12 o'clock, midnight. We had a guy that's leading off, and as soon as we hit the hill and we came down the hill, you could see the fire. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, it was like a circle of people on the street. Mm-hmm. In my mind, they were probably holding hands and doing marshmallows. And they love
rocking
it.
Like that.
They love that shit. I mean, they love fire.
Yeah.
They call them Newt Newts. I don't know. That name was
I've
over
heard
for a
that.
guy.
It's still around.
They said a lot of kids have 3 eyes that are Newt Newts. But anyway, the Newt Newts and their mothers and fathers and grandfathers, they were all holding hands, waiting for 14.
Wait for 14.
And 14 was like
with their marshmallows.
14 was everything to that neighborhood.
Yeah, that's the neighborhood.
They love 14 and 13 truck. They love 14.
Yeah.
And we're going down the street and all, and we get that. And we have a fire. And the pipe guy, for some reason, he was knocking it from I remember looking back, he was like on the yellow line in the middle of the street. Mm. But I was doing 14.
Who? You want to say who that was?
No, I'm not gonna say who it was.
Okay.
He said, "Nah."
What was you doing when you saw that? Were you like?
Shit was going through my mind hey, wait, this is 14. I already had another fire in my first trick there. Mm-hmm. That was a little questionable, but so I had this, and then I'm trying to get the guy to come on up and go and get it, and here comes this guy full of dreadlocks, stock. He comes down the street, and I blocked him. Yeah. And I was like, hold on, this is my fire. I didn't know I was tangling with Arlen Tolls.
So he was ready to ball you up.
Yeah.
You know,
I was like, hey, hold on, man. This is mine. This is my guy. I'm like, come on up. Mm-hmm. Somehow the guy said he got burnt, whatever, which he was. And me, Arlen, and Chief Bob Scarpati, we went and got the fire.
Bob Scarpati was my first captain at Truck 27.
Yeah,
Real great guy.
I love Scarpati. Yeah.
Definitely a good guy.
Yeah, really a good guy, yeah.
So but that was my first tangle with those, but we had many fires together.
Yeah.
At 36.
He was
at 36. He was a lieutenant at 36.
He was a little mad because he lived down the street from 14.
Yeah.
And he had just made lieutenant.
Okay.
He was when I was in 58, that batch of they were making 20 some people. He knew he was making 14. He had the strings pulled. He was going to 14. He was going to walk the but I got 14. I don't know how I got it.
So he really wanted.
He was salty.
So you took the spot. So you took the spot at 14 engine, and you stopped him from getting the first and final.
You know what? Though he treated me great.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, I know.
He's a great guy.
We had a great relationship, and I had plenty of fires with Arlen, plenty.
Yeah. So
he's going to say the same.
Yeah. You coming soon? Always take the time out right here to always acknowledge my brother. You were working that day with Smokey. Were you working that day? Were you in the car that day?
No, I was off.
You was off.
I was off. A-Shift was coming in. Smokey, I think, had EMT that morning.
Yeah.
And
anything you want to say about him? Anything that you like? Anything? No. Rest in peace. You always want to give shout outs. So I want to say this real quick. We had a lot of loss in the fire department this year, and more than any in my career, any year that I could ever think of. I think it was 6. And the other guy just got into a serious accident. Wish him all the best. Hope he gets well.
31 y'all not praise.
Warren, rest in peace. Stricker Street.
Oh, we had a lot.
We had a lot.
All through, you had Preston Connie.
Yeah, I know. This has been a hard. So, not even want to focus on Smoke. Do you want to kind of say anything about kind of all the loss that we had or anything like that?
About the loss?
Yeah. How do you feel about all the losses that we had?
It's terrible. I mean, as a department, hopefully it'll make us stronger, bring us together. Right. I hate to do it, off of people dying.
Right.
But the funeral in January. I wish it didn't happen. It was amazing. It brought us all together.
It did.
From all over the country.
All over the country.
That's
what
we had people from Canada and here in California.
Right.
It was just a sad event. And then all the other losses. I mean, a lot of them involved motorcycles, unfortunately.
Right. Unfortunately, yeah.
But
so with Stricker Street, by you being from 14 Engine, did it feel like it hit home a little bit more?
It kind of hit home
because you understood what they were going through at the time. Like when you look at that still shot, like it's a lot of I don't want to say Monday morning quarterback, but different points of views. But you being from 14 Engine, having those 3 stories like that, do you feel like I can tap into what they were thinking at that time.
Yeah. Kelsey, I didn't know much about.
Great firefighter.
She was at class 19 when I was at the academy. A member from out there. I know she went to 14. A lot of people liked her. They said a lot of good things.
Yeah.
She worked with Daryl Williams.
Right.
So she lasted that long at 14. I know she was a good firefighter with Daryl.
Right.
Yeah.
Daryl's one of the best.
Yes.
Most definitely.
No doubt.
So, people can Monday morning all they want. I didn't do any after action reports. I don't have the NIOS reports and everything.
Right.
Just looking at the picture I had and where the pumper was, I think that when Kelsey pulled up, the angle where the pumper was, when she called it in, that's when she made her decision to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
From that angle.
Yeah.
Getting up front and all, she might, you might have had a different
Yeah.
outlook on it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see it, didn't hear anything. I don't know if it's the right thing to say or not, but I'm proud of them for what
Yeah,
they
exactly.
did.
Man.
I'm
Oh,
proud of
yeah,
too.
man. That's,
So,
yeah.
I'm proud of them too.
Yeah, me
I
too.
said
Nobody
that from
wants
day
to
one.
hear that.
No.
Yeah.
News on life.
Yeah.
I understand.
But
Yeah.
was it the right decision? Yeah, Monday morning quarterbacking.
Yeah.
Obviously,
It's
it
the ultimate
wasn't.
sacrifice.
Right.
Yeah, the ultimate sacrifice.
But definitely from a firefighter to a firefighter,
Yeah.
very proud.
I am.
Yeah, man.
And as just to piggyback off what you said, I feel the same way.
Yeah, me too.
So I was on D shift with Daryl, Kelsey, Matt Blakely, and there's been plenty of fires when we pulled up and it looked like that. We right behind
You
the
were
whole
on
time.
that fire in that same house before when
I was.
Yeah,
I was.
when
When they mentioned the previous collapse before, that was my crew, myself, Corey Richardson, Kenny Huffman, and the second floor rear floor collapsed and we went down. Like,
fell
obviously.
through the floor. He said he went down. He did.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
God.
I mean,
he did.
obviously, it wasn't as bad. I mean, it's always bad when you get caught in collapse, but, we were able to get out, 8 engine, with a RIT team pulled us out, and, but just to bring it back to a lighter note, a lot of people say you're a chief's chief.
Okay.
The reason why they say this is the amount of people that you've helped study and make chief. There's a lot of gold on collars because of this man right here. Big gold.
Okay.
How many, name a few guys that you've helped promote the chief? Or you helped study?
A lot of guys. Look, I don't want to take it away from anybody.
Right. That's what I mean.
Because
Just help with study.
They worked their whole career.
Yes.
So one thing, I'll just make it real simple. Some of the guys I helped, some were captains of 46.
Mm-hmm.
They were captains under me. They were on A shift, and I thought, that's my job to mentor them, whatever it takes to get there.
So when you say the captains of 46, we're gonna go with.
Well, you had Chief Doles, Chief Stewart, Chief White, Chief Taylor, who came on my house like a couple lists ago, and then he dropped out for a year. He didn't come to me. Then he did this kind of on his own.
Yeah.
Still the same material.
Right.
So I'm real proud of those guys. But by me saying I helped them, they earned it on their own. I just kind of helped them. I sat with them, just helped them with their delivery.
Right. And I see you being kind of humble with it. You kind of being
Yeah,
coy
yeah,
with
yeah.
it.
I
And
don't
I
take-
get that. And that's fine.
That's
Because you don't
fine.
want to take it away
I
from
don't
them.
want
and
to
I
take
get
anything
that.
away from
But
them.
if you can just, I'll tell you what. If you can think of a round number of how many lieutenants, captains, even chiefs study for to make
Chiefs, I say 8 to 10.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
big.
Wow.
That's major.
And I'm just
Wow.
going to tell you this. I took the test in 2004. I've never been a subject matter expert.
Really?
So I've never seen any of the tests or anything like that. It's just what I do. I do a little bit of homework. I try to talk to the guys that took the last test and say, hey, what was the test like? Blah, blah, get a little feel for it. And then when you come to me 2 years from now,
Yeah.
I'll be able to help you.
I'm looking forward
But
to it.
you got to do your homework too. You got to
Looking
get
forward
the
to it.
feelers out there.
Right.
So look, just to put this out there real quick, real quick. It was a guy, I want to say he was on from 42 engine, lieutenant. He made captain. And was it Burgess or who's you helped study for captain back in
Burgess?
2019?
I helped him study.
No, yeah, did you? It was somebody at 42 engine. Well, he was a lieutenant at 42 engine.
He was a lieutenant already there.
Yes,
You sure?
I'm pretty sure. Well, from what I was told, you had helped him study for captain. It was the list that I made it off.
32.
Well, anyway, I heard that you was helping the guy from 42 Engine
So you were
study.
scared. You were scared. You're like,
I was nervous. I say, I'm like, you got the magic touch. You know what I mean? I'm like, you got this. You know, so
You got the sauce.
it pushed me. So in that aspect, you kind of did help me study more because I'm like, oh man, and I mean, I had mine who I was helping with Mike Wynn helped me study, and I knew you was helping the guy study, which is nothing wrong with that. But I knew that your reputation of helping get guys promoted, in my mentor, I said, I gotta go hard. You know what I mean? So really, in that aspect, you kind of helped me study too, because I'm like, he coming. You know, this guy's coming. I can't. It was either the captain on 23 Engine or Rescue One. It was one of those guys.
one of those guys.
They're currently the captains is now.
I think I'm ready. I think you're ready for this question. Ready for what we ask everybody. I think it's time.
It's time.
What's that?
Your Mount Rushmore.
Oh, the Mount Rushmore. Yeah, at first I didn't realize what you guys meant.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, what's the Mount Rushmore? What are they going for? But I guess you're looking for my choice of the best.
Yes.
You're top 4 people.
Now, is
And
this just firefighting or all round
Life.
All around
Life?
in the fire
Or
department.
you can
Fire
do,
department.
or however you want to do it. If you want to break it up.
Well, who you want to put on
If
there?
you want to do 2 of them,
I'll do memorable people. Like I can, memorable people in my career. I could do one for well-rounded, and then I could do the younger version for firefighters.
whatever you want to do. It's your platform. Whatever you
So,
want
so
to
what is it? 4 on Mount Rushmore?
do. Yes, 4 people.
Well, number 1 would be my brother John.
Okay.
Ruff. Now,
Okay.
also, there's probably somebody out there I'm going to leave out. I don't want to hurt any feelings. I've had a lot of people in my career that have helped me, and I looked up to that are great firefighters. The department's full of great firefighters, great
Yeah,
people.
no doubt.
Most definitely.
No doubt.
we
Greatest
know that.
department in the world, in my opinion.
So I'm going to say my brother John J. Ruff,
Mhm.
Battalion Commander the 3rd. That's he retired about 2010. He's number 1. When I went to 29, and I thought he was a good chief. He was Battalion Commander. That was Chief Feely.
Yes.
Will Jasper's pick probably.
Yep. Yep.
Well-rounded for the fire department. A guy that knew everything.
Mhm.
That put in so many hours that he probably made about $7.50 an hour. When you look at his hour, that would be Donald W. Heinbaum. Remember that?
I remember
Chief
Heinbaum. Yeah, I remember Chief Heinbaum.
we
I was
were
there.
around.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of time, but we're a little long in the tooth over here
well,
now, Chief. You're a little long in the tooth right
He
now.
hung in there for a while.
Me and him, we FOGs now.
Another guy.
Y'all
that-
old as shit, because we FOGs, so y'all old as shit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You can say I'm FOG, but at times I still feel like a rookie. You ever
Yeah,
get that feeling?
I do.
Because we got the greatest job in the world. Every now and then
It
you
moves quick.
get a wake up call,
Yeah.
and I still feel like a rookie.
Mhm.
I feel
It's
like
funny when a
too.
rookie knows something that you don't, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, damn.
Oh, don't let you know. Don't let you know.
Yeah.
And then 4th would be Corey Kirby.
Oh,
I'm not
shout out.
familiar.
Corey Kirby,
Yeah, God rest his soul.
yeah, God
Chief
rest his soul.
Kirby.
Chief
I remember
Kirby.
He was a
Kirby.
gentleman's gentleman.
Yeah.
Very well educated, well-rounded. He was division chief,
Yes,
made division chief. He was division chief 2.
right,
And we had back then we had Division 1, Division 2.
right, yeah.
Division 1 was the west
Yeah.
side, but he was a well-rounded gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
great guy.
So he was Division Chief 2,
Which was like the shift commander.
which is like the shift commander, because it was Division Chief 1, Division Chief 2 at the
That's
time.
it. And
that
they
was
worked
it.
Monday through Friday.
Yes, and he worked Monday through Friday.
Wasn't a bad system, but
No.
I don't want to say that to the shift commanders now. Because
Right.
Two of them be looking for a job.
Yeah, no doubt. Right. Well, they still be battalion chiefs. You know what I mean?
And then on the weekend, the battalion commander, the senior battalion would act
Mhm.
or whatever if they had a suspension or something like that.
So look, let's say if they brought back battalion commanders. You got anybody you would choose as an aide?
Me as an
Because
aide.
for those who don't know, battalion commanders had an aide that drove them around.
Well, I had a couple people that I picked,
Mm-hmm.
but she wouldn't take it right now. I was told Nikki Yancey, I said, she would be my top pick, but she rose to the top.
Yeah,
This is way back when I said if I ever have to pick an aide,
yeah.
I said I was told Nikki I would pick you.
You got a
but
reason?
She went up smart,
Yeah,
intelligent, loves the job.
yeah.
A
Shout out
couple
to
others.
Captain Nikki Yancey.
Summer Lloyd always, when I was at 29, said she wanted to be my aide.
Yeah.
So I said I would give you a shot.
Okay.
Doug Wareheim, he
Mm.
keeps saying he would be my aide. But,
Y'all two together would be
They all laugh all day,
Oh,
bro.
my
It'd be laughter
goodness.
all day.
But,
the GOAT, Doug Wareheim.
Yeah, I need somebody
First
to-
acting man, no disrespect.
I need somebody to teach me computers, Doug. Sorry, buddy. I can't have aide.
So I'm just say
Doug's
something,
pretty good.
right? Because every year, every crab feast, it's fun because of this man right here.
Oh,
The crab feast
because of me.
because of him right here.
I don't
So
know. If it's
yeah,
because of me.
it is because of you. So like I said, we're about to kind of wrap it up. But one question I do want to ask you: you got a lot of time in. I know we talked before the podcast. You know, this is a great job. You don't want to leave it. But what kind of do you see yourself doing when you do retire?
Well,
Moving where?
I
What
don't know.
island?
Maybe I might travel a little bit because I haven't really traveled. I keep saying I'm going to. Chief Tafsky's trying to get me to Dominican.
Oh yeah.
And I keep talking to different fire department guys, and we keep talking about a trip.
Can we at least get one impression on
You're
having that conversation with
You
you?
got to come to Colombia with us. You got to come to
No,
Colombia.
I can't
You got to
do
come to
that.
Colombia with us. You got to come to Colombia.
Colombia, Rodney Nelson talked me out of Colombia.
What?
Really?
He said it was
Come
too,
on, Hot Rod.
Hot
what?
Rod said it was too dangerous.
You're from Baltimore City.
I know, but I don't know
You
much
been in
about
Cherry
Colombia.
Hill.
Right,
You
right.
walk
Cherry
around
Hill,
Round Road.
Westport,
I know.
Riverside.
Riverside.
Yeah.
You got to come. It's not too late. We're going.
I'll think about it.
We're going.
I've been watching Colombia on YouTube. And
Yeah.
it is a little scary. There's a lot of scams going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's us going. We're going.
So,
We're
Rod-
going.
Rod
We're
said
going.
It's a tourist alert. Blah blah blah. 'Cause
Yeah.
We're
I said,
going.
Rod, if you go, I'll go. He said, I ain't going.
Well, we're going.
I got another. I got 2 more questions. So
Okay.
here's the one. Obviously, and this is all we just kind of making this stuff up.
Mhm.
We consider you a fire department Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Most
Thank
all
you.
day long.
Hall of
You
Fame.
going into you going to the fire department Hall of Fame, BCFD Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
What company are you going with when you go in?
Mhm.
Who do you want to make your speech going into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I guess the company would probably be BC5. Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that-
fine. That's great.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
great. That's great.
Whatever you want.
I'd probably say BC5 have been there the longest.
Yeah.
There's not wrong yet.
29, 14, 33, they're all great picks.
Yeah.
Anybody would be honored to pick one of those companies, right?
Not
So-
your brother.
John?
Not your brother. We pick somebody else that's not family. That's not
Oh,
to
just
say
give
your
my
speech.
speech?
Not
Yeah,
your
your
brother.
speech.
Not your brother.
Can't be your brother.
So
Can't
I'll
be
be
your brother.
BC5. I'd probably like Goose, the guy who started it all.
That's dope.
Is that all right?
That's dope.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Goose to it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
So, last question for you. What's next?
What's next for me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to work as long as I can. I enjoy coming to work. I love working with you guys. I love it at 40 and 12. Good shift. I like helping the young guys. As you know, I like helping people, seeing them grow.
yeah, weaving guys.
I like
yeah,
seeing
man.
people get to the
Yeah.
next level.
Mhm.
I'm proud of Kenny White, a good friend of mine. I want to see him grow. I want to be around when he moves on.
Yeah.
Nate
Um,
Sampson on that.
Good
Nate
man.
Sampson doing it. Yeah, man.
Good man.
If I'd be happy retiring as battalion chief, doing that job, helping people. If for some reason I get the opportunity to move up a spot, I'll take it. Before
Okay.
I was kind of hesitant
Mm-hmm.
because didn't want to leave the union and stuff. But
Yeah.
I got 30 years in now.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Yeah.
safe, and I wouldn't mind working for the guys that we have running the department right now.
Yeah.
So
Good.
So, I know we said that was the last thing.
No.
For anybody that's watching this, they know no jack shit about Baltimore City Fire Department. What's a thing you can tell them about Baltimore Fire Department?
Baltimore Fire Department.
Yeah, what can you say about Baltimore Fire Department?
It's a great department. We all get along. It's a diverse department. Good firefighters, interior firefighters.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about New York and DC. I'm not going to take a shot at anybody,
Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
but we're definitely second to none.
No doubt.
We're
doubt.
second to
No
none.
doubt.
BCFD, baby.
No doubt.
Yeah,
You heard it
No
from the
doubt.
chief.
You heard
yeah,
it
you
from
heard
the
it from
chief.
the chief.
I would-
30-year chief.
Yeah,
you
you
I
heard
wouldn't
heard
want it
from
any other way.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. I mean, you could give me more money. I wouldn't take it
I
any
understand.
other way.
Yeah.
I understand.
No doubt.
I
I'd
love
take the BCFD all day long.
Well, Chief, when we
Salute to
created
you.
this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
it was created for guys like you
Thank you.
to tell your story
Mm-hmm.
in your words, the way it's documented,
Right.
and when our time comes, because everybody's time comes,
Mm-hmm.
this will be documented in your own words, and we have these for the archives so people know you.
And it's about giving you your
Appreciate
flowers.
And it's
while
giving you
you're
your
here,
flowers
while you're
because
here.
you're one of the greatest. You're a legend. You're an icon. This is our 5th episode for BC5. He is BC5.
Yeah,
He's
he
been the
is
staple of
BC5.
BC5
No
since
other.
2006
Yeah.
and beyond. Chief, thank you for coming
Chief.
on, my brother.
Thank you guys. I
Cheers,
appreciate it.
salute.
Love and appreciate you, Chief.
Hey,
Thank
another episode of Charm City Smoke.
Hold on,
I'm
hold on. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. Don't go ahead.
He was at my house when you told your story about when
Yes,
he
he
was
was
at my
there.
house that day. He was at my house that day when Kenny had his he couldn't
My
leave my
mishap.
block mishaps over my house.
Yeah.
He was there that day.
Yeah, he was there. But it was a good time.
It was a good time.
And honestly, you know, I always thought of you highly, but even with that moment, I was, you know, heard stories from Truck 27, you guys hanging out and doing other things like that, in whatever capacity hanging out.
Right.
And I saw you in a different light then,
Yeah,
and I
man.
appreciate you. I've always appreciated you, but I feel like I appreciated you even more. It showed me that you're a man of the people. You're a chief,
Oh, yeah, most
you're a
definitely.
chief for the people,
Yeah.
and you're going to make sure that we're good and have a good time, and you know, still do the job and be held accountable. So,
And thank you for not asking me any
Right.
questions.
Yeah.
Not asking me no questions.
hey, Randy, you're beautiful. Hey, it's another episode of Charm City Smoke. Thanks y'all for tuning in. Hey, salute to y'all. Like,
Yeah.
subscribe to the page.
Yeah.
We got more episodes coming on. Chief Ruff, thank you again, my brother.
If you like it,
You're welcome.
I love it.
That's right.
Thank you for having
We
me.
out.
Yeah, we love you.